All right. Can you tell us your name and?
Yeah, I'm Bill Reardon. I was a teacher at Bishop McMahon High School for 41 years, and I retired in 2004, but I have subbed a lot ever since. Thought I was going to be a retired guy, but missed the interaction with the kids, so thought I would sub once a month and have some contact. It's more like once a week by my own choice. In 1963, I graduated from college. A month later, got married, and 2 months after that, started teaching and taught my entire career at the same school. So, obviously, November 22nd I was 3 months into my teaching career and going through the same problems that every first-year teacher has. And in my case, I was the same height I am now, but I was 80 pounds, 60 pounds lighter, and felt threatened by the fact that I taught juniors and seniors, and people would mistake me for one of the students, and I thought, this isn't going to work, I'm never going to make it. So I was going through challenges that all new teachers have. On that Friday when I got to school, the office had a note on my door to come down to the office. They needed to talk to me before school started. And they said that Mr. Mortz, another social studies teacher, a veteran teacher, whose room was next to me, along with the principal, had gone to a retreat for the weekend, which started on Friday morning. And that his class, his senior government class, had assignments to do, but that they wanted me a couple times during each period to kind of walk next door and see what they were doing. Talking about differences in time, can you imagine today just saying, well, we won't need a sub, we'll just let them stay in that room by themselves most of the hour and just have somebody check once or twice. But that was the situation. So I was doing that during the morning. In the afternoon, after the lunch period, the PA beeped, and the secretary in the office came on. And even though I'd only been at the school 3 months, I thought, this is unusual. She's never come on before. And while it's true that the principal was at this retreat, I'm thinking, this is pretty strange. And I'd gotten to know her pretty well. And I could tell by the voice it was something important, and especially what she said. I want the teachers to make sure everyone is quiet before I start. And then in kind of a monotone voice, she announced that President John F. Kennedy had been shot in Dallas, Texas in a motorcade, and was just pronounced dead at Parkland Hospital in Dallas. There were gasps in the room, and people were upset. And in my class, most of it was this fear that this was the start of some type of conspiracy, that where is this going to end? And are the communists taking over? This is 1963. I mean, and maybe even more so in the Catholic school, I don't know. But the fear of communism had been inculcated into these kids and their teacher. And there was this fear. And I'm trying to talk to them, well, I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But they have all these questions, and what I could see on their face was fear. And the most overpowering feeling that I had, besides the shock of the president being assassinated, was a feeling of inadequacy about what I should be doing as teacher, because they were all dealing with a very emotional thing, and I'm the adult, I'm the teacher, and I didn't know what to do. And I can remember a number of times thinking, if I were just a more experienced teacher, I would know what to do in this situation. In hindsight, I mean, I don't think I'd be any more prepared today than I was then. I mean, this is an event that no one is going to be prepared for. But I thought that my feelings of inadequacy were based on the fact that I was this brand new teacher. And I'm sure that contributed to it, but that wasn't the only factor. So I'm talking to them and letting them talk for a number of minutes. And then I thought, oh my gosh, what about that class next door? So I said, I'm going to go next door to check on Mr. Mort's class, and then I'll be right back, so just stay here. This was a junior class that I had. I went next door to Mr. Mort's class. The door was open. The door was where the configuration is in this room, and the desks were facing forward, so I was getting a side profile. And when I went to the door, I stopped. And one of my strongest memories now in my 51st year, if you include teaching and subbing, my 51st year here at this school where we're doing this interview, it's one of my most powerful images in 51 years in this building. And the image that I saw was, it was a fairly small class, maybe 22, 23 students, equally divided among girls and boys. It was absolutely silent. Unlike my class where there was just everyone talking at once, this class was absolutely silent. No one was talking to anyone, and no one was even looking at anyone. They were all looking forward, did not seem to notice me, and I stood frozen in the door. And then my eyes went to the side profile of all 22 or 23 students. Every single one, all the girls, all the boys, were weeping. And even though I was a new teacher, I thought, oh my God, this is unbelievable that everyone, some of them in the class, I was coaching football, some of them in the class were these big tough football players, and they're sitting there, some of them with their hand to their head, but I could see the tears dropping onto their desk from the side profile. Every single one was crying. I stood there myself frozen for a few seconds longer and then walked in and told them that, that I'm next door, if any, and I'll come back in a few minutes later and check, but if there's anything that they need, to come send someone next door, and we'll just have to wait and see what the school tells us that we're going to do.
Okay.
I